Good afternoon. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you with my weekly updates and dragons for the week. And certainly this week, the dragons have been speaking loud and clear. As soon as Mercury, thank goodness, is not retrograde anymore, I think a lot of us had, it was very intense, that period that Mercury was retrograde. And as I've said before, I don't profess to understand astrology. I just know that this particular retrograde was a struggle for everybody. In fact, my dragons were pretty quiet during that time. But since then, they've been very chatty. So that's a good thing. I hope everybody had a good week. There's been some very strange weather occurring, depending where you are in the country. We've had cold, really cold, like frosty mornings, and some of my efforts out in my small backyard. I had to go out and cover up some plants because we actually, there was a heavy frost, which is unusual for middle of April. But again, if people have lived in New England for a long time, nothing's unusual. There was snow in May many years ago, so expect anything. So I did, so yesterday the dragons were very chatty with me. I also did a Dragon Empowerment Reiki session with somebody, and the dragons were very excited about that and gave me a lot of information, lots of downloads, helped me be laser focused, as they put it. So I've mentioned, I think, the last couple of weeks that my April special is a 1 hour session of Dragon Empowerment Reiki with 3 dragon cards. You can either do that beginning, end of the session, or a follow-up in about a week, depending on what you're looking for in that Dragon Reiki session. It was awesome for me. It was awesome for the person that had the session. And the dragons really have shown me so many different ways they can work with us in healing modalities. So that's exciting for me. And so if you're interested in a 60-minute session or a brief 30-minute and dragon cards, my special offers are up on my website, which is www.eastcoastdragonlady.com. I've also been collaborating with my friend Kelly Springer, and we will be announcing our upcoming podcast series that we're currently they're in the making. Really, we're launching it. So I'm not sure quite when we're going to actually launch that, but it's something to look forward to. It's going to be Kelly and myself. We're going to explain what drove us to it. I think the first 1 or 2 may be just us talking, and then we're going to be inviting guests to come and join us. So be on the lookout for that. I will give you the name of it when we've decided to launch it. Some of you do know because you've been in our smaller circles. And I think that's it. So this week, the dragons said to me, focus on us. It's all about us. So Carla Morrow's deck of the Universal Dragon is what I pulled our cards from for the week, which is also, you can never make this up. And I also pulled a Dragon Magic card. The dragons were telling me that they love these little cards that I do. I know a lot of you like seeing these every day. So I thought, why not pull a card, or 2 cards to see what our theme was, and they go together really nicely. So the Carla Morrow card is Speak Your Dreams. So this will be the focus of the week when I do my channeled messages. And for the Dragon Magic is Believe in Dreams. Believe in Dragons, sorry, Believe in Dragons. Dragons Dreams, Believe in Dragons. And I will post that along with this card. And it actually says, humans often step back, believing their dreams to be impossible. With our energy, our support, you can attempt all that you dream of. Self-belief is our dragon gift. Inspiration will be the result. So I think I definitely got that. I really felt very excited about that. Oh, and also the other thing I was going to say, there was a little bit of Mercury retrograde and human error that my podcast didn't air last Friday as with Caroline Mitchell, but it dropped this Friday. It's on any channel that you get podcasts. It's on Caroline Mitchell's website. It's on my website. It's on YouTube. It was a really fun time. It was great me playing it back because I hadn't seen it. As it dropped, I hadn't seen what we talked about. It was really fun, and as she put it, it was the original Dragon Lady talking with the East Coast Dragon Lady. So I think the dragons were really excited, and they were there, and we had a fabulous chat about dragons, the sort that you can't, like she talked about it in the podcast, where like if you go out with friends and you don't, when people say what do you do, it's not the first thing you're going to tell them, right? Well, now it is. Now I often talk about that. But I also have a full-time job as well, so sometimes I talk about that. But oftentimes it's surprising people's reaction, both good and bad. But a lot of times people will say, dragons? Oh my goodness, I've been connected to dragons for years, or I've loved them since I was a kid. And you talk to them. So it's not as, like this says, it's not that far out there now. And as we know, the dragons are coming for that reason. So so the theme is going to be Speak Your Dreams, which I think all of us need that inspiration. Certainly now that Mercury isn't retrograde, I have no idea what's going on with the other planets. I think, thank goodness, that, you know, we've had the eclipse, we've had all those other things that happen. There have been some, if you are on my private Facebook page, I have posted some things about some very strange goings on in England and some other parts of the world, Paris and I've forgotten where else. But the Moulin Rouge, one of the is in Paris, and it's where a lot of people. It's a if you don't know, it is like a big. It looks like a big windmill, and it's where sort of cabarets and things are held. One of those fell off. Nobody knows why. The other the biggest strange thing in England was the military horses that are exercised every morning, same route, and they're they're there. They don't get spooked. That's their training. A couple of riders got thrown and injured. Several horses got injured, and they ran for about 2 miles through London, which, if you know London, is no easy feat. Narrow streets, lots of traffic. The horses did get injured. I don't know any updates, but I'm getting full body chills, so I don't think I want to know about that. I think the thought was that maybe a couple of those horses didn't survive. There was a lot of blood involved. You can Google it, and they're pretty graphic pictures. And also Amanda Ellis has done a couple of her podcasts on that. And then the strangest thing was Big Ben, which is the big clock in London that is always precise, always strikes right. And at 9 o'clock, it stopped and then was chiming 11 chimes instead of 9. And it just took several hours. The thought is it was some sort of time slip because of all these other odd things. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there. I'm not going to say I believe one or the other, but just saying it's very odd. There was definitely something not right for all of those non-coincidences to happen. So anyway, let's focus on this week. There's some fabulous cards coming up. Listen to yourself. Service. This one often comes up for me. Where are we? Flow. I love this dragon. Community. That's another big one. I love the butterflies all over this. And knowledge is the card. So they're going to be the themes of my channeled messages. The dragons are saying, I can see them standing there and they're rubbing their hands together saying, oh, we can't wait to get started, especially when it's Dragon Week. I'm going to call it Dragon Week. So at the front of this, I talked about my special offer. Please go to my website and check out my podcast with Caroline Mitchell. Thank you for all of those. There have been a lot of you joining my Facebook group. You can find me by going to my Facebook page and hitting Facebook, and it will send a request to join my private group, which is where I post all my daily messages regarding dragons. I do have a YouTube channel. I post, this will go up on there. Last week I did a reel because I was short on time and I didn't post that. So there's been 2 weeks since I've posted on YouTube. We will also, Kelly and I will also have a joint YouTube. I've done so much of this setting stuff up that my brain's like, so we're going to have a YouTube channel as well, where we'll be posting our podcasts. And it's exciting to be collaborating with somebody who we've had so much fun getting to know each other, and I've taken several of her classes. We've got lots of things in common. We've got lots of, we've had lifetimes together. And she was the one that welcomed me as an ancient when I had my aha moment that I was told that I was an ancient. And there's a lot of us that are waking up to being ancients. So if you're one of them, get in touch, please. We're finding there's a lot more people that are really waking up to not just past lives, but like our soul at that very, very beginning, and a lot of it before Earth was before we were even on Earth. We were created way back in the galaxies. So some of that will be on our podcast. So we have fabulous conversations when we get talking about that. And as I am waking up to this through Kelly's course, which is the Temples of Light, and if you're interested in that, check out Kelly Springer. She is doing. This is the second level of Temples of Light. I was in her first class and second class. I don't know if there are going to be any more, but it's like it really is unique. I will say that it's a unique. Once a week for 7 weeks, we've been meeting. It's very unique and going on lots of journeys to the Temples of Light. So if you're intrigued by that, I would check out Kelly's website as well. We're also co-hosting Dragon Thunder, which is going to be in July, on the full moon in July. Kelly and I are the USA hosts, so that's going to be fun as well. Last year I was the co-host with Kevin. This year I am the American host and Kelly's my co-host. So we're going to anticipate that's going to be fun as well as we present you, the presenters. Kelly is also talking somewhere in that 8 hours. But it's, again, if you look on my website, there's a link to Dragon Thunder. You can find it on Facebook. It's an all day, well, actually, it's 24 hours of dragons. It's starting in Australia. It's going for 8 hours. Then it's going to the United Kingdom for 8 hours. And then we're doing the last 8 hours in the USA. I believe it's from like 1:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But there'll be a lot more to come on that as the run up to it, because we're in our last week of April. So there's just a couple of months before Dragon Thunder. It's our second Dragon Thunder, a galactic Dragon Thunder this year. The first was an international. This, I think, is more across the world. So there's going to be 24 hours that you can jump on and see things live. It will be recorded. And I would say you probably have to take a week off work if you want to watch them all in one go. The energy is always, always very intense. If you plan on watching more than an hour or so, plan to ground yourself, drink plenty of water. A lot of people were feeling very lightheaded with the intensity of the energy, and it builds through the day. So we also have to prepare for that as well. So I think that's all I have today. It's actually a nice sunny day here, and I'm probably going to spend some time outside. So have a good rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you next week.